with him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll talk about it inside.
I don't. I don't want to get out.
Do what now?
I don't want to get out.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to get out.
I'm sorry. You're a child and you don't get to make all the decisions. But you need to get out now, and it's time to come home. Okay? Come
What's
on.
the camera for?
Oh, don't worry about it. You need to come on. I'm sorry.
I don't want to get out.
I understand, but it's no longer visitation with your father, and it's time to come home. Okay? All right. We can talk about this. I'll listen to what you have to say, but there's no way that you can just roll up and everything's fine, and you can just roll up and say, "Oh, I'm not going to get out of the truck." And this mama is not going to say, "Oh, okay, bye kid that I've raised for 14 years, see you later." I'm just not that way.
All right, all right, all right. How is everybody? Special thanks to Mr. Dwayne Ward at thepissedoffparent.com for putting that cute little compilation together for me. Today's topic is going to be something that's very near and dear to my heart. And Dannon, I'm going to add the sound. Last time I added sound, everyone told me it was too loud, and I was trying all my controls and it didn't work. I'm a one-man band, but I think I figured it out. There was a control that either I didn't see or it wasn't showing up, but I'm going to play it now, and I think I've got it set right. So that is too loud. I think that's right. Dannon, if you would let me know. I don't know why, I just like little background noise. But if it won't work, it won't work. Great, that worked. All right, perfect. Thank you so much. Today's a little different. Again, this is something near and dear to my heart. I've titled this called The Busting the Myth About Alcohol, that age-old myth of, or in my opinion, it's a myth of once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. And I've decided to set my very first, the stream is public, and I'm glad everyone's here, but I've been neglecting my my members, and I feel bad about it. I'm not trying to exclude anyone, but they've decided they want to help me out and help this channel out, and I'm going to leave the comment section. I realize I don't have a lot of members, and that's fine. Be a little more, I'll be able to get to everybody. Hurricane Girl, I'm so glad you're a new member. If I'm not mistaken, Hurricane Girl was a little testy with me when she first got on. Like, what are you talking about? Who the hell do you think you are? But hopefully I've tried to explain myself, as I hope to do in this discussion today about alcoholism. Alcoholism, if you haven't noticed, is a gigantic problem in this country. On the screen you see are two different pictures of me, and they're about 2 years apart. The one on the left is fat me, though I was 1 year sober there on the left, that big old tubby belly of mine and little bitty pencil arms of mine. I decided on my 1 year anniversary of being sober to go to the gym. Blaney Boo is the one who helped me. He showed me how to do PPL, which is the rotation of the various muscles on 3 different days. Day 1 is push, day 2 is pull muscles, and day 3 is legs. Repeat. So in order to get to this point, you've got to be alcohol free. All right, you won't be so testy today. It's okay. I don't mind. I enjoy people being testy with me. I want to be challenged. If you hadn't noticed, like the intro I had, well, not the intro, the prelude of that old woman. People say that I block negative comments and negative. I literally publish them. I want to be challenged because, well, that's how I get better. I'm open, like blatantly open about my former alcoholism. Hello, Wicca. By the way, I want to give Wicca a big thank you. I got your gift the other day. Thank you so much. And also Dannon, who's been so kind to, I don't know why she decided to, but she did. She's making these little reels. In the old days, YouTube didn't have reels. It wasn't a thing, but apparently it's a thing now. And it's getting a lot more traction on my channel, and I do appreciate it. Yes, my birthday is in it's next week sometime. I'm going to be old. I'm going to be 48. I've got 2 more years left. I'm going to be like really for real over the hill. But how many of y'all have ever heard that age-old adage that, in my opinion, lie about once you're an alcoholic, you're always an alcoholic? I'd always heard that, and I didn't know where it came from, other than I just thought it was true until I became an alcoholic myself, and then I got off of it, but I didn't do it the conventional way. And before I go any further, I'm going to say I'm not a licensed counselor, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist. Anything I say here are explicit. They are just my opinions, unless I, explicitly say this I know for a fact is a fact, like something pertaining to me personally. But for the most part, everything I say here is just my opinion. And I'm also not here to, contrary to popular belief, I'm not here to crap on AA. I'm really not. I didn't even realize, I'm just going to say it's been 5 years. It's not been 5 years yet, but this August 21st will be 5 years sobriety. But for the sake of brevity, I'm going to just say when I first came out 5 years ago talking about my sobriety, how I did it, people kept hounding me saying that I was an alcoholic still. I was like, I've heard that, but no, I'm not. Like, I know what it feels like to be an alcoholic, and I know what it feels like to have fully recovered, and I recovered. And it really ruffled some feathers. People were accusing me of being like elitist, like being arrogant. Well, not everybody has it that easy as you did, Caleb. I'm like, whoa, back the truck up. I'm very open. Again, I'm not trying to crap on AA. I simply think that my way is better. And I'm not trying to say that in an arrogant manner. I have since learned over the past 5 years what I feel, how I feel, the health issues that I've completely gotten rid of, not just by being sober, but by physically getting into shape. And they go hand in hand, because at this age, you cannot look the way I look. Now, I don't look like that at the moment. I'm about, in that right-hand picture, I'm about 185. At the moment, I'm about 194. I'm about 9-10 pounds over that. But my point is, at this age, you can't fake this. You can't be an alcoholic, a boozer, a regular guy that's been slamming shots, slamming beers, chasing women in the bars at this age and maintain six-pack abs and my muscle structure. You just can't do it. Or I can't. I don't guess I can speak for every man, but I can't. And everyone I've ever talked to, they can't either. When you're young, yeah, you can get away with it. But when I say my way, I've also been accused of, well, you're not the only person that's ever come up with that, Caleb. And I'm like, I know. I know. I'm quite certain I did not invent the process of getting sober and remaining sober and enjoying being sober the way I did. I'm quite certain other people came up with it before me. I don't claim to have invented this. However, I did discover it independently on my own. After I got sober, and was getting like attacked, I was like, and not everybody was. I was really grateful for all the support. People cheer me on. It's nice. But I was actually shocked at the number of people that were getting on to me. You're still an alcoholic, Gabe. You can't ever be normal. You'll always be. I was like, A, I don't understand why you're attacking me. And B, you're full of crap. Maybe you still struggle with alcohol, but I do not. And the reason I bring this up is because, again, not to be arrogant, but I want to show people who've had problems with alcohol there is a better way. You don't have to wake up every morning and just tell yourself and sweat and cry and pray, I'll just take it one day at a time. I will not drink today. And having that, I just can't imagine having that constant everyday struggle of just like, foaming at the mouth and can't walk down the alcohol aisle at the grocery store because, oh my gosh, I've got to go get it. I'll go have a meeting. And I'm not mocking people. I'm personifying to the best of my ability. I'm not mocking people. I'm trying to show you that if you do struggle with alcohol, even though you haven't had a drink in 5 or 10 years, but it's still a daily like, oh, I could just go back any day now. If you'll just hear me out. I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm not trying to insult anybody. I'm trying to let you know. I've just simply found a different way. Maybe I did it by accident. I don't know. But it works. I don't want to have to struggle with it. I thoroughly enjoy. I didn't even realize. I mean, I knew I had a problem, but until the pressure was off of me, I didn't realize what a relief it would be. And again, from the time I got sober to the time I started lifting weights, and then the last 6 or 8 months really started running daily. This is just me. I'm not claiming to be a doctor or know anything about the technicals, but I no longer have chronic back pain. Like I run every day, anywhere from 2 to 6 miles. If I had to, I could find witnesses, dozens of witnesses, that people who know me personally, who would be able to testify, yep, I remember Caleb back in those drunk days. And I would have these spells where I'd work all day as a Caterpillar diesel engine field service mechanic. And my back would get so sore. And so I would literally collapse. The pain scale on a scale of 1 to 10, it would spike to a 10. And it hurt so bad. It felt like someone was taking an ice pick and ram it in my lower back. I'm going to take myself off of there and just put my other self, my current self. This is current me. And I'd collapse, and it wasn't fun. It hurt. It was constant, and it was getting worse and worse and worse and worse as the years went by. I never thought I'd run again. When I quit, I couldn't run 20 feet. My old belly's sticking out to here. Yeah, slap that belly, yeah. My old belly was out to here, and it hurt to run. I couldn't go more than 20 feet. I'd be out of breath, and it would hurt. But now, not only can I long distance run, I can sprint. But where was I? Oh, I wanted to bring this up. I'm going to add this, and this is just let's say I make it a little bigger. I Googled a summary of once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. And this is the AI overview. And I'm going to read some of these out for those that don't know, and I'll have some talking points along here. So the saying, once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic, reflects the understanding that alcoholism is a chronic disease, and while sobriety is achievable, the potential for relapse exists, highlighting the need for ongoing support and treatment. That's what the saying is. I just happen to disagree. Here's a more detailed explanation. Alcoholism is a chronic disease. Alcoholism or alcohol use disorder is recognized as a chronic disease, meaning it can be managed but not necessarily cured. Again, I just simply disagree. The phrase, once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic, this phrase often used within Alcoholics Anonymous, AA. Again, this is according to AI. I don't know if I've heard AA promotes this. I've heard they don't. I don't know. I'm not an AA guy. I'm not. You'd have to ask an AA expert. This phrase, often used within Alcoholics Anonymous and other recovery communities, emphasizes the lifelong nature of the condition, sobriety, and relapse. While individuals can achieve and maintain sobriety, the potential for relapse remains if you go the AA route, underscoring the importance of ongoing support and adherence to recovery principles. My way, again, my way is you don't have to do this. And I'm going to get to my way, I promise you. Neurobiological factors, heavy drinking can permanently sensitize brain pathways to alcohol, making it difficult to stop drinking even after periods of sobriety. Recovery from alcoholism requires a multifaceted approach that may include therapy, medication, support, and groups like AA. This is where I'm going to get here. I promise. I'm going to get there. This is the part where I vehemently disagree. And if you want to choose to try my way, I'm just offering it for free. I'm not selling anything other than memberships for those that want to chat live on today. Oh, and by the way, if you are a member and you want to talk to me live, there's a link in the post section for members. After I get done with my spiel, my monologue, I'll be more than happy to take callers or whatever you want to call it. And if you want to ask me questions or give your testimony about your alcohol problem, or maybe you hate me, you want to call me a deadbeat dad, and how I'm wrong about alcohol and how I'm a drug dealer. But I'm going to get to that. Individualized treatment. What works for one person may not work for another. Agreed. Emphasizing the need for personalized treatment plans. This is me giving my personalized treatment plan. You can agree to it works, or you can disagree. That's okay. You don't have to agree with me. Stigma and destigmatization. Understanding alcoholism as a disease, not a character flaw, is crucial for destigmatization, or destigmatizing the condition and encouraging individuals to seek help. Alcohol use disorder, or AUD, is a medical condition where people can't stop drinking, even when it affects their health, which it does, safety, which it does, and relationship, which it does, which I will cover. For more information, blah, 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 seek professional help and counselors. And then this is from Alcoholics Anonymous itself. alcoholicsanonymous.edu. I can't read it. I can't see it, but we understand now that once a person has crossed the invisible line from heavy drinking to compulsive alcoholic drinking, they will always remain alcoholic. So as far as we know, there can never be any turning point back to quote unquote normal social drinking. That's according to Alcoholics Anonymous on the website. Again, I don't claim to be an AA person. I don't claim to have read their big book or whatever it's called, memorizing all the 6 steps or 10 steps or 12 steps or whatever the steps are. It just so happens I have read their 12 step, I believe. I've read it, but I don't know it by heart. Coincidentally, a lot of the methods that I used were the same as the AA. So what is my way? What did Caleb Leverett do that is so different from AA? I want you to envision a light switch. When you turn the light switch on, the light comes on, the power is being used, there's continuity, you get light and heat. When it's off, you flick the light switch off, there's no light, no heat, no power consumption. Picture a valve, like a faucet. You turn the water faucet on, water flows. You turn the water faucet off, it stops. It's real simple. Now place that switch, place that valve, imagine that in your head. Now you've got this switch, this valve in your head. the way I see it, if you go the AA route and you have that constant struggle, which I've talked to many AA people, and they say they're the ones that tell me, I can't go around people who drink. I can't be in bars. If I smell alcohol, I've got to go to a meeting. I'm tempted. With my way, you simply flip the switch off and tell yourself that all alcohol is poisonous to human beings, to all humans, all the time. And assuming you have the will to live and the desire to live as healthy of a life as possible, as do I, you turn the switch off. You turn the valve off. The light goes off. The water stops coming out. And when you do that, I'm telling you, you don't have to have that suffering of lying to your friends and family. That urge to go to the store and stock up on you buy it by your vodka by the case, and make sure you've got plenty of things to cut it with, juices or whatever you want to use. People use. When your heart convinces your mind, when your mind convinces your heart, when your brain convinces your brain to turn that switch off and tell yourself that all alcohol is poisonous to all humans all the time, I'm here to tell you, this is my firsthand testimony. It's super easy. I can walk into a restaurant and walk right past the bar, right past all those fancy wine glasses hanging upside down, right past all those shots, right past all the posters of Ryan Reynolds and his aviation gin telling you, buy my bullshit poison. You'll look like me. You'll be funny like Deadpool. I can walk right by all that and never once think, oh my God, I got to call my sponsor. I've got to go to a meeting. I've got to say Hail Marys or what. I promise I can walk right by it. I can go sit down. I can have dinner. If I'm with people who have beers and wines, I'm fine. If anything, I feel pity for these people because maybe they just simply don't know. Maybe they think that casual drinking is okay. If you want to think that, knock yourself out. It is no skin off my nose. It doesn't bother me. If you want to poison yourself, I wish you wouldn't. But if you want to do it, hey, knock yourself out. But what my point is, I have turned the valve off in my head. I've flicked the switch to the off position. There is no continuity between me and alcohol. I'm repulsed by it. Just the smell of it, ooh. Because I don't know why it works, but I'm telling you it works. My focus is on my mental health and my physical health, hence the reason I look like this. And I've got these big guns. For an old fart like me, I've got some pretty decent looking arms, and I like it. But you can't have it if you're a boozer. Excuse me just a sec. Did you ever look into why I can't be a member? I remember you bringing that up. Well, right up here, Hurricane Girl just became a member. Right here. Tar Heel Hurricane Girl became a YouTube member! ! I assume it's pretty easy. I personally don't have memberships to any YouTubers myself. In the past I have, but it's been a while. There's just a button that you click that says become Notorious Dad level 1, 2, or 3. I probably need to take the 2 and 3 off, but it's there in case somebody just wants it. But just click on the little button on my channel and it'll say become a member. You aren't old. I guess it's all relative. Compared to my parents, no. Compared to my kids, yeah. Are you 6 years sober, Wicca? I'm glad to hear it. I love my sobriety. It really is that simple. Turn the switch off. Tell yourself that alcohol is poisonous. Why would you want to poison yourself? There's plenty of poison in the water, in the food, in the sky. I don't want to get too conspiratorial and get a strike on my channel, but there's a plethora of poisons out there. Why in the world would anyone want to intentionally poison themselves? I mean, I get it. The initial effects of alcohol, I mean, let's be honest. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I dare say that half the babies born in the United States are because mom and daddy were, at least one of them, were on all kinds of booze. I mean, seriously, the first 2, 3, 4, 5 hours of booze, it's a blast. I ain't gonna lie, it's fun. It's all the problems that come with it is the part that sucks. First, you got the expense. Like, if you're a boozer and you're still doing it regularly and you don't think you have a problem, you're in denial, ask yourself, how much do you spend on booze every week, every month, every year? Add up how many years you've been drinking, weekends, and just add it up. Now, if you're independently wealthy, then the cost is irrelevant. It doesn't matter to you because you could buy the most expensive Chardonnay or I've almost for cognac, or I don't even know the famous alcohols anymore. I just don't even think about it. If you're independently wealthy, it doesn't bother you. But now think about this. If you're a boozer and you're in denial, how many times have you had to make an excuse to one of your cheerings, your parents, your friends on why you can't meet them for dinner, or why you can't meet your friend at the gym, or why you can't go to dinner with somebody, or why you weren't at church? It's because you're drunk. You're making excuses, and I've got news for you. You can probably fool a lot of the people some of the time in the beginning, but over time, your excuses are going to start wearing real thin with your friends and family on why you're late or why you can't make it, because they're going to notice patterns. So, Johnny boy, he can't make it. He can't make it. He can't make it. And over time, when they see you in passing, they're going to see that belly going. Yeah. And the arms are going to start shrinking down, and you're going to be this little frail man with this big old gut, these little pencil arms, this shiny red nose. There's the telltale signs in there. Depending on the naivety of the person you're canceling plans with, they're going to figure it out pretty quick. And then you really start looking stupid. Even if you think you're clever and, I can lie like a pro. You're not. You're not fooling them for very long. You look like an idiot, and that's when you know you got a problem. I did it. I'll never forget. Hayden, I just moved from here to Willis, Texas, and Hayden called me up or texted me and said, "Hey, Dad, let's go work out." And let's go work out. And he said, and I turned him down. I said, "Son, it was during COVID, everything was shut down, couldn't go anywhere." And I thought, what the hell, might as well get drunk because why not? It was like 11 o'clock in the morning, not even noon. I'd already started drinking, and I couldn't even go work out with my own kids. That's a whole day. That's a whole memory I missed out because I was drunk. I thought I had to have it. It's pathetic. I watched my daughter and roommate drink and fall over on their faces and cry about hangovers. I did not miss drinking at all. I laugh at how stupid they act. And look, yeah, the hangover. That's another thing, hangovers. Have you ever met these arrogant idiots that try to sound cool and look cool about how I've never had a hangover? It doesn't affect me. I've never gotten a headache. I've always shown up to work, and I was fine. Well, you might have showed up to work. I mean, I've showed up to work hungover lots of times. But I was definitely hungover, and I wasn't at my best. And anybody who tells you I could drink a fifth of Jack and show up to work and never have a hangover, they're lying. Yeah, they may show up to work, but they're not at their best. They're lying. They want to sound cool. If you'll notice movies, Hollywood's terrible about this, or great, depending on your point of view. They promote alcohol as if it's cool. That's what commercials do too. There's this phenomenon of a saying I've heard people say over the years: I'll drink you under the table any day. How many of you heard that? I'll drink you under the table any day. I'll outdrink you any day. What they're saying is, I can drink more than you and still stand, and look how cool I am because I'm tough. I'm a tough guy. I can drink all this whiskey and I can drink 24 beers. Look at me. Look how cool I am. You want to be like me? And I was thinking about this today on my run. An example of this. There was, for the Gen Xers, y'all remember this, an old movie series. They made 3 or 4 of them called the Indiana Jones. It's got Harrison Ford. And I want to say it was Temple of Doom, but it's been a long time since I've seen it. Anyway, is the second or third one. Indy flew over to some foreign country. He meets this woman who owns this bar. Come to find out, they apparently used to have a fling years ago. Mariana, I think's her name, or Mariana, something like that. And there's this, they're chasing the medallion that winds up burning that weird guy's hand because the bar caught on fire, and they're trying to kill Indiana Jones. And anyway, they're having these drinking contests, and she said, I'll drink you under the table any day. And it was a big scene. It was memorable for me because, hell, that came out sometime, that was in the 80s. I remember it. I haven't seen Indiana Jones. I might have watched it 10, 15 years ago just for shits and giggles. But that stuck in my head. It was cool. She was a bar owner. She was feisty. She was sharp. She was witty. She was funny. She was cool. She could outdrink a man. I'll drink you under the table any day. That's what they do. And it's a big lie. I mentioned Ryan Reynolds, Mr. Deadpool. He's full of shit. He sells that aviation gin and promotes it like, you'll be big and strong and funny. Now, he made Deadpool, and I love Deadpool. He nailed it. I haven't seen the last one, number 3. But Deadpool's 1 and 2, I loved him, and I got to give the man credit. He's great. But outside of that, I just don't like the guy. I think he's a arrogant, narcissist, control freak. It is funny to watch Candace Owens. On a side note, it's funny to watch Candace Owens kind of railing on him and his biatch wife, Blake Lively. But he's selling that aviation gin and promoting it. I've seen him on late night talk shows. He's got his aviation gin. He takes these shots and he's promoting it and he's making money off of it. Leading you to believe, drink aviation gin and you'll be cool like Ryan Reynolds. You'll be funny like Deadpool. It's bullshit. You're going to eat your liver up. You're going to shoot. Your kidneys will be shot. You ruin all your organs. You'll get old and you'll start lying to your family. You'll get drunk, possibly get a DWI. If you're a man sticking your dick inside women, you shouldn't be putting it in. Women doing the reciprocal, getting pregnant by men who aren't your husbands. Bad, bad, bad news. I would not recommend. Okay, I have 0 options. Wicca, I'll just have to look into it. I don't know how to do it on the fly. I remember looking at my channel and it seemed fine. I think there's a way. It's been a long time. Back whenever, Wicca, you were like getting on, not in 22 when I started the podcast, but back in 20 when I was going live from my backyard and it's just my laptop. I think I remember a way, because we were having to put a lot of people in like timeout, or because the back then we had like way too many comments. Speaking of, isn't this pretty nice not having all the just endless troll comments? I'll just have to check it out and look at it. Good question. Well, there must be a control on my end, and you have my word. As soon as I get off here, I don't want to do it right now, but when I get off of here, I will look into that. It's only on his channel I'm blocked from membership. That is really strange. Actually, it wouldn't surprise me because, as I've said and whined about many times, I've got 500,000 subscribers, and it lets almost no one. And people have told me later in the comments or messaging me, man, I got my bell set. I've got everything, and it just won't let me know when you're live. And I don't know what to do about it. If y'all have any recommendations, I'm all ears. Google says it's an iOS issue. Oh, okay. Well, I have a membership option in my Chromebook Android. Man, you're getting too Geek Squad for me. That's over my head. That's over my pay scale. Reddit said that Apple removed the join button for some people for some reason. Huh. Well, I promise you, Wicca, I'm not the one. I mean, I'm actively promoting to get more members, so. Oh, you figured it out. Good. All right, here, I'll even give you an applause. There we go. All right, figured it out. Dannon gifted 1 Caleb Leverett membership. You sweet girl. Yeah, this is really different. Not setting this to members only. I gotta admit. Again, I'm not trying to exclude people, but I did. This is apparently the way YouTube goes, and people do like supporting me for some reason. They do like getting memberships, and I feel like I need to do this just out of a thank you, because I genuinely do appreciate it. So anyway, kiddies, that's my spiel with my way of dealing with recovery. That's from alcohol. I don't know about cocaine or heroin, or I've never done any of that stuff, or at least not regularly. I think I did coke twice when I was like 19 or something, or 20. But I don't know if it works for other drugs, or I have no idea. But from an alcohol point of view, I can absolutely attest that my way does work for me. Maybe it'll work for you, I don't know. But in short, you just flick the switch off. You turn the valve off, and you're going to go through, that's what I was going to talk about, the withdrawal. The downside is, there is a downside. There's no easy way out. You just got to man up or woman up and take it. But when I decided to quit, there was a 7-day, and I've talked about this, a 7-day hell. And it was hell. 7 days getting off. You got the DTs, and the DT stands for something that's a long, I don't even remember what it means, but it's basically the withdrawal. And it sucks so bad. And I feel you. I've watched videos, people talk about it. I made it to like day 3 and I couldn't help it. I had the shakes so bad and I just had to get it. And I get it. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. But after you peak out at day 3 or 4, that is the day 4, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, that was the hardest part. Day 4. You're so tired, you want to fall asleep, and then you do, and then you wake up and you got these, your body's like jolting yourself, and you're hot, so you sweat, but then you get cold, and so you're freezing, and you wake up, you get out of bed, and the sheets are just soaking wet, underwear soaking wet, everything's just wet, but you get up and you're freezing. And I remember I'd get up, freezing my ass off, and I'd grab a towel because I was so exhausted. And I'd grab a towel and I'd throw it down, and I'd cover back up, and I'd just fall instantly asleep. And 30 minutes later, hour later, 2 hours later, I'd jump and I'd do like this, and you'd just like shake. You'd have these just violent shake. It's like, I think if I've talked about, I've seen House talk about it. There's a medical term for it. Your body is like fixing to shut down, and your brain is sending your muscles a signal. Hey, wake up. And that's what makes you shake. I forget what it's called, but it sucks. And by day 4, your hands like this. You're trying to hold something steady, but now look at this. Look at that. If I'm an alcoholic, please explain to me how in the world do I hold my hand so still? Look, I'm not bracing or anything. Both hands. Not a shake, not what, maybe a tiny bit, but my hands I've held them up for like a minute, and they're extended. But I can hold them still. But when you're coming off about day 4, that is the peak. I mean, I was losing muscle control there before I quit, or right leading up to when I quit. I would like try to take a drink, and I'd have to like think and like I'd have to will my hand towards my gullet because I was losing my motor control. But now, that ain't bad for a fully recovered alcoholic, if you ask me. I think it looks great. I'm not shaking at all. But by day 5, it still sucks. You still can't get a good night's sleep. You still have the sweats, but it's not as bad. Day 6, same thing. The intensity goes down. It's a little bit lower. Day 7, there's just a tinge left. You feel way better, but you still got. But by day 8, maybe it's day 9, maybe 10. I don't know. But by about day 8, you get through that 1 week, and you've just breathed this gigantic sigh of relief. Oh my gosh! I didn't realize just how much pressure the brain fog. The urge to drink more, and you get over it, and you suddenly realize, damn, I feel good, and I don't ever want to not feel good ever again. And if you do my way, and you can make it to day 8, the final, you peaked like this, going this parabola of pain and suffering, and it's just miserable. I mean, it's not misery like being nailed to a cross and a crown of thorns rammed on your head and the spear stuck. It's not that kind of misery. It's not that kind of pain, but it's super anxiety. It's cold sweats. It's lack of sleep. You're exhausted. You want to go to sleep, but your brain wakes you up so you don't quit breathing and, off yourself. It's just misery, but you get to day 8 And if you can make it to day 8, I would suggest don't go to work, take a vacation week, don't talk to anybody, just keep to yourself, go through the misery, and just embrace the misery. And just say, I'm going to finish this. Because by the time you get to day 8, when you finished all 7 days of the DT, and you've told yourself, brain, turn the switch off. Shut the valve off. I no longer want to be tempted by booze ever again. You convince yourself that it is poison, because it is. I'm not exaggerating. It is poisonous. And when you flick the switch off, when you turn the valve off, and you make it through the shitty 7 days of the DTs, the night sweats, and everything that goes along with it, you're home free. It's all over. So man up, woman up, and just do it. Don't be a little biatch and whine and give up halfway through on day 4, the worst peak day. Because you got to start all over. You have to go through that week. I've never found a way around it. Maybe somebody has, maybe a doctor has. There is another method I've found, and they call it I don't even remember the name of it. It's an acronym. The so-and-so way, the TRS, basically you just slowly wean yourself off booze, and you take some BS drug, Tralaxolone, or I can't even remember how to pronounce it. It's just another gimmick. It's just another way of trying to bilk people, in my opinion, out of money. Why am I all blurry? There we go. I don't know why it does that. I have to try to figure out how to log in to my main YouTube on my computer. It's linked to another account and wouldn't let me buy a membership. Gotta love YouTube. Yeah, I've still got BS for my second ex-wife stuck on my phone that automatically updates, and I delete it, and then I do the update, and it all comes back on there. Like, oh my God, it drives me nuts. I didn't have withdrawals from stopping drinking. Nice. I did from stopping smoking cigarettes. That was 2 weeks of torture. I was a cigarette smoker, but I wasn't a regular, and I still dip snuff, so I guess I get nicotine. Some people have told me I need to quit nicotine, quit dipping snuff. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. At this point, I sleep. By the way, I've gotten up to like 7.5, as much as 8.5 hours of sleep per night, being up here in the cold. It's real nice. At this point, my nicotine habit, though it may be gross and unsightly to some people, that's fine. I like it. You just don't have to look at it, because I like it. In my opinion, it's different than cigarettes, because with cigarettes, you are combining oxygen via fire and putting it into your lungs. So well done on cigarettes, quitting cigarette smoking. I've never liked it. I used to smoke off and on with my exes who did, and only when I drank, and God, it just stinks, and I don't miss it at all. All right, kiddies, we're at 49 minutes. I like to go somewhere between 30 minutes and an hour. So we're getting up to that point. If there's anything else, I didn't get anybody wanting to get online and want to chit chat. I really didn't think anybody would. A, I don't have a lot of members, and B, this is kind of a sensitive topic. Not everybody is brazenly as open and obnoxious about it as I am, about talking about what a loser boozer I was. But again, when I say jokes about boozers and big bellied pencil armed guys, they're just jokes. I'm not doing this to be a bully. I'm making fun of big bellied men, pencil armed men, alcoholic anybody, because I used to be all of those. And I'm trying to convince you, especially if you're young, that if you can start younger. Now, I suppose, that's another topic or point I was going to bring up. I suppose there is somewhere a crossover line where maybe it could be true that once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. If you decide to quit and it's literally the minute before your body's going to shut down and you're going to leave this earth anyway, I suppose it's true. Maybe a week before, if you quit, maybe there is a no coming back, or a month. I personally think that this is just me. I quit August 21st of 2020, right during COVID. Everyone else was getting more and more hammered and knocked up, but not me. I was celibate and getting sober. I firmly believe, had I not quit when I did, within a year I'd have been dead. It was bad. It was getting real bad. So perhaps there is eventually a point of no return. I don't know what that is. I drank heavy and hard and obsessively for about 7 years. That day, for those of you who watched my channel, watch Parker versus the Man, the worst day of my life, the second most viewed video on here. I'd been a social drinker, casual drinker, possibly occasionally at times a problem drinker, but it wasn't, I could take it or leave it and go to sleep and be fine with or without it. But on that day forward, I drank almost every single day, for 7 long, miserable years. And I firmly believe, had I not quit, I didn't have maybe a year left and I'd have been dead. So I'm glad I quit when I did. My brother's an alcoholic and he has a huge belly. I'm not surprised. I bet he's got pencil arms too. Now, some people have huge belly and they're just big because they eat far too many calories. That's going to be probably my next topic. Is I was talking to Blaine today and was telling about Dannon making those neat little shorts. And he said, basically, talk about your health. And he goes, Dad, what it all boils down to is basically, hello, Wicca. Hang on just one sec. It boils down to calorie deficit. It's just a calorie deficit. So if you consume fewer calories in a day than you burn in a day, you'll lose weight. You consume more calories in a day than you burn, you'll gain weight. If you burn the equal amount of calories as you consume, you'll break even. Well, Miss Wicca is going to pop in here. She finally figured out how to do the member deal, so I'm going to bring her on. Let me see. Add to stage. Hello, Miss Wicca. How are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. You seem a little loud on my end. Let's do a sound check. Can I just say hello, Notorious Dad?
Hello.
All right. I think I got it. How are you? Long time never see.
I talk to you all the time. You just haven't seen me.
You did what?
I talk to you all the time. You just haven't seen me.
Oh, you mean in the comment section?
No, I email you all the time.
I've responded some. I've seen. I very well could miss some, but no, I remember seeing you at least since 2020. I remember
it's been at least 5 years. I can't go any further back.
Yeah, I remember you at least at 2020 because I remember seeing your name Wicca, and I was in the backyard of that little junky trailer I was in there in Willis, Texas. So it's nice to finally meet you and talk to you. How are you? What's on your mind?
I'm doing good. Not much. Don't really have much to say. Alcohol is bad.
How long are you sober? 6 years?
Yes, I'm actually a year and 3 months ahead of you.
Okay.
And I was really happy when I found out you started your sobriety.
What made you quit?
Uh, I was never a heavy drinker. I was social, like birthdays or just hanging with friends. But what traumatized me was I had a wine cooler, and just off that wine cooler, I started bleeding in places I shouldn't. And I'm like, nope, I'm done with alcohol.
Yikes. So you weren't
Yeah,
a
it scared the crap out of me.
so you weren't a heavy drinker, but that whatever's in it just made you bleed. And
Yeah, it was enough for me never to pick up another drink.
so if you weren't ever a heavy drinker, then just out of curiosity, I assume staying sober is not a problem for you. Like, can you walk into the grocery store down the grocery aisle and not just long for the wine coolers or the beer? Or
No, my roommate and daughter bring alcohol into my room, and I won't touch it. I'm literally scared because of that incident that happened to me. I would never pick up a drink again.
so you just flip you similar to my way. You just flick the switch, and it's just real easy to say no.
Hmm. Now, when I had to quit other things, I had to struggle. And yes, I still have issues like with smoking. I can't be in the same room because it'll trigger me.
Now, that's why I had that caveat of I don't know if this applies to cocaine or heroin or I never was a
It
serious.
does. Um, I've actually had coke in my past, and to this day, if I even smell it on someone, I instantly know what it is. It's something that even though I'd never use anymore, I will instantly know that smell.
And it bugs you.
It does trigger me. It will make me be like, I know what that is, and I just want to get away from the smell.
No, that's with cigarettes.
No, that is with the coke and crack.
Oh, jeez.
I've only tried it once, but I can instantly smell it anytime if it's around me.
I thought it. I didn't know it had a smell. I thought it was like that
Oh, it's
iocane
bad.
powder. Really?
It is
Hmm.
bad. The crack is
I had
something
no
that
idea.
stinks, and then the coke is something you want to chase. It's like you want to go after it. That's why I instantly when I smell it, I'm like, I got to get away from these people.
I'm glad. Like I said, I don't. I'm glad I don't know what it smells like. I don't feel like I miss anything. I took. I had cocaine twice in my life. One was this. They had this little. I don't even know what you call it. This thing you twist and it like measures out, and you just sniffed it.
I
And
don't know.
all I remember is I was already drunk, and as soon as I sniffed that damn cocaine, my eyes were like wide open, and I wanted to chew on shit like a freaking dog. And I had this leash that was or not a leash, it was a keychain that was made out of leather, and I happened to have a leash that was made out of the same thing. And I remember for some reason I just wanted to stick that leather in my mouth and just bite and bite and bite. And I stayed up all night long, like why I don't remember. Way into the next day, and I finally fell asleep. But when I woke up, I was like, "What the hell is? Why is my jaw so sore?" Come to find out, other people that have had cocaine said, "Yeah, you makes you bite down for some reason, or maybe that was my particular
I
flavor
had a
that they
bad
gave me."
reaction to mine. I had the drip, so I just hung upside down under the water faucet for like an hour.
The I have no idea what is a drip. What like I don't even know what
You
that
keep
means.
coughing up mucus.
Oh,
You're
okay.
thirsty and you keep coughing up mucus and you keep trying to drink something to get rid of that drip in your throat.
Oh, okay. I see. I see.
I
But
didn't like it.
that wasn't something you did regularly, anyways, though.
No, that was a one-time try just to, hey, I'm an adult, try it.
Okay, well, you weren't addicted, so it's easy for you to stay away
No.
from that. So, but you were addicted to cigarettes, right?
Oh God, yes. That was horrible.
So let me ask you, with something you were addicted to, like cigarettes, when you smell a cigarette now, when I smell a cigarette now, I just want to vomit. It smells so terrible to me.
It
What
stinks.
does it do for you?
It stinks so badly at first, but if I keep smelling it, then it's like, my brain starts like, I want that. It's starting to smell good. And I'm like, no, we are not going down that road again. It was so hard to quit smoking cold turkey
I've
that I
heard I've
never
heard
want to have to do that again.
I've heard people say that it was harder to quit smoking cigarettes than it was quit drinking alcohol. I, like I said, I never was a heavy smoker, but I would smoke occasionally when I would drink, or if I smoked at all, it was only when I was drinking. And at the time, the boys were into those goofy vapes, and so I just started vaping instead. And I've just eventually I just got tired of it, and I just quit. And it wasn't hard for me, but again, I wasn't a regular smoker. But to this day, you being a former regular smoker, if you smell it, you have to do the way I see, the AA. You got to tell yourself, not smoking today. I got to go away because it is that tempting.
Yes, it's always gonna be there. You always like I still have urges where I want a cigarette. So I'll chew on some gum. I keep gum around or lollipops. I'll put something in my mouth to trick my brain and to make it think that it's getting something it wants, but it's not what it wants. I'll give it something else. And
So
then I'll be fine.
on the gum, do you use the nicotine gum or just regular?
No, no. I use sugar free or sugar gum, any kind. Just like I prefer mints to kind of give you that menthol to like get you rid of not wanting you to have the nicotine taste, because that's what the biggest issue for me was not quitting. It was not having the nicotine and having the bad reactions, the mood swings, and the I want to hurt people because I don't have the cigarette. I don't like
Yeah.
feeling that way. It's a very
Yeah.
bad drug, and people don't understand how bad cigarettes are until you get addicted and then you try to quit. And that drug is fighting your body like, I'm going to win. You're not going to quit me.
Yeah, when I went to jail in 2014, can't believe that's been 11 years ago, for 60 days, I remember thinking to myself over and over, man, this would be infinitely easier if I could just have a plug of snuff. I am addicted to snuff. I know I am. Like, if I ever had to quit, and I may, but if I had to right now, I'd probably be clawing. I'd have to re-examine and maybe use my own logic with alcohol, with the tobacco. But at this point, it's not affecting me. I've still got guns. I've still my guts in check, and I can still run. I've cured my chronic back pain from lifting weights and running. So at this point, it's not a problem. It may become a problem in the future. I don't know. The people who hate, like my parents, they hate that I did. They think it's so gross. But I'm like so old that they can't tell me no. But I'm like, Mom, Dad, at the moment, I mean, I'm in better shape than you, and I know I'm younger than them. That's how I play with them like that. But I said it's not a problem for me. I'm not sick. I have no illnesses. So until it presents, or if I just simply want to quit because I want to quit, until that time, I'm gonna keep on doing it because I love it because it tastes so yummy. My lip doesn't rot out. I'm perfectly fine there.
I
In fact, my
recommend
lips.
if anyone
But
is to quit something, do it alone. Do not have someone around you can take your attitude out on.
yeah, they call that misplaced aggression.
Hmm.
Yeah, particularly don't be around your spouse. I have no business having a spouse anyway, so if I ever quit, I would be alone. So, all right, Wicket. Well, I'm at a little over an hour, and my voice is getting scratchy. In the old days, I could go like 2 or 3 hours, but I'm gonna end this. But thank you again for your happy birthday gift. You're just a sweet person.
You're
And
welcome.
thank you for being around, sticking around for at least 5 years that I know of. I'm glad you and Dannon were able to figure out whatever's wrong with, not being able to get membership. I got another
It's
membership.
my iPhone 16. If you ever have any people that come back into your channel and start having issues, it's an issue with the newer models of the iPhones. They're not able to support a lot of functions. It's not just your channel. A
Okay.
lot of games don't support my iPhone now.
So you just got on your computer and you're able to do it just fine?
I am right now. I went on my computer at first, but I'm logged into another channel, so I can't get into it. And I went onto my other iPhone, the 12, and I'm like, wait a minute, my iPhone 12 works, but my iPhone 16 don't.
Okay, well, that's that tech geek stuff that is way over my head. But anyway, it's nice to finally meet you, Wicca. Thanks for hanging around for all these years and putting up with my antics. And I'll chat. I'll see you on the next one.
Okay,
All
bye.
right, take care. Bye. It was so nice to finally meet her. Hey, before I get off, I do have to say, I am. I can't go into a lot of detail, but I'm moving. I'm not going to be here anymore. I've got to take care of some family stuff, and the market took a big old dump. And I have a feeling tomorrow's going to be like Black Monday. And Jim Cramer's predicting, not that I believe anything he said, a lot of people call him inverse Cramer. I think it's going to probably dump a lot more because all the Trump tariffs and all the crap's going on. So I'm going to be on the road for probably close to a week. And so if I'm not, I won't be in this setting. If I do go live, it'll be from my phone. Oh. If I do go live, it'll just be from my phone over the next week or so. But once I get to my destination, I can't say exactly where I'm going, but it is in Texas. I'm going to be in Texas for the foreseeable future. Once I get set up, I'll be going back live like this because I've really enjoyed not doing it every day. Like every other day works better for me, but I enjoy visiting with people, and especially like with Wicca, she's just been around forever, at least 5 years. It's just nice to get to talk to people. And if I'm not mistaken, Wicca, correct me if I'm wrong, I think if you wanted to get on, some people don't want to show their face, but they may want to talk. If I'm not mistaken, there's an option. It'll give you an option. You can turn your camera off. We can just have a conversation, chit chat. You just thought I'd throw that out there. So anyways, cheerings, kitties. I'm going to pop off here because I'm kind of getting a scratchy voice, but thank you, Dannon. Thank you, Wicca. Welcome, Hurricane Girl. That was one of the new memberships today, and I will chat with y'all. I'm not going to go live tomorrow, I know that for sure because I am leaving tomorrow. But whenever I'll keep you updated in the in the post in the what used to be the community section. So anyway, y'all take care. I'll see y'all in no more than a week. All right, bye. Bye.